Continues to expose the wild west of towing.
Tonight, investigative reporter David Hodges reveals yet another tow truck driver facing serious criminal charges who's escaped consequences for years.
He joins us now live in studio with more on that.
So, David, last week he gave us an update about David Satterfield and the charges he faces after towing a car while two women were still in it. So what are you looking into tonight?
So tonight we're talking about Tim Davis, owner of Precision Collateral Recovery and a host of other towing companies that have switched names over the years. In February of 2024, he filed a temporary restraining order against me to try and stop our reporting. A judge quickly shot that down, but otherwise police and the judicial system have done very little to slow Davis down. In 2023, Charlotte-Mecklenburg police executed a search warrant at the PCR towing lot on Old Statesville Road. Court records claim CMPD found 17 firearms, 5 of which were reported stolen. They also found vehicles and trailers reported stolen, including a tractor trailer with $5 million worth of Adidas sneakers. Timothy Davis was charged with 10 felonies, but at the time, he told me, quote, "I'm not in trouble at all, man." Turns out he wasn't wrong. The case against him hasn't progressed in years.
The person you called has a voicemail box that hasn't been set up yet.
I tried calling Davis but couldn't get a hold of him. That is the literal number for his towing business. So I asked Mecklenburg County District Attorney Spencer Merriweather why the case is stagnant.
His case has gone absolutely nowhere. Why is that the case?
It can appear to people who are outside of our court system that cases aren't moving, when I can tell you that there's a lot of work that's going on under the water. Many times there are actually things that are being investigated that will further an investigation. There are times when we're relying on other law enforcement and prosecutorial partners to determine whether or not we can actually make cases better.
A spokesperson for U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson's office also said, quote, "We do not disclose/confirm whether there's an active investigation or not." But in March 2026, Davis found himself in handcuffs again. Court records allege that Davis was part of a conspiracy in which 4 men hot-wired a U-Haul from this lot on Steel Creek Road, then drove it to this warehouse and were caught on camera cutting the lock to a fence. Davis is now charged with felony larceny of a motor vehicle and conspiracy to commit felony larceny.
He's now been arrested again and accused of more theft and yet another case.
And we will deal with that as it happens. Every effort that we can take to protect the public from further harm in every single case, I promise you we will do it.
Davis's next court date for the felony conspiracy case involving the U-Haul, the allegedly stolen U-Haul, is August 12th. He does not have a court date scheduled in the other case involving the $5 million of stolen Adidas sneakers. That is from, again, 2023.
All right. Last week you were telling us about the criminal charges filed against David Satterfield.
Right.
And here we've got these charges against Tim Davis. Is there something particularly challenging when it comes to prosecuting tow truck drivers?
Yeah, one of the things that I've heard from prosecutors and police is that these tow truck lots are often like black holes. I mean, so many cars go in there, different employees, different people who are driving them. They found 17 guns, according to police. It's hard to prove exactly who's in possession of those guns. And then, of course, the other thing is that North Carolina state lawmakers have failed year after year after year to pass any new towing regulation. So often when you have police interact with these tow truck drivers, they just say it's a civil matter and throw up their hands, that it's not their business, essentially. We're going to have more stories about this tomorrow night to just continue to keep highlighting the wild west of towing in Charlotte and North Carolina. Just people who continue to avoid consequences for any behavior related to this type of activity.
I never would have thought this would have been, that there would have been so many examples of this with so many tow truck drivers and so many. I am amazed at how much of this is happening within the world.
I can go into a second week too if you want.
No. We do want to say that there are a lot of legitimate tow companies out there as well too.
Absolutely.
There are some of these. All right, David.